How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Down Podcast, the show where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. We are back with our 2021 coverage, starting to post each and every day as we get into the thick of it, heading into training camp here. So we are back. I know we've been inconsistent throughout the entirety of the offseason, but we're excited to bring you guys the best training camp coverage in the offseason. So let's hop right into it. Today in episode number 233, we are back reacting to the news that we are going to have a quarterback competition this summer between Andy Dalton and Justin Fields for the week 1 spot. I am your host, Chris Malpe. Today to talk about this news, I am joined with my co-host, Jaylen McClinton. Jaylen, summer is officially here. We're officially back each and every day. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Finally done with school. It's crazy this year with my fast, so that's about it. Like, it's just crazy that school is actually over. Been a long year, but can't wait to hop into some off-season football and talk about the Bears.
Yeah, getting into it slowly and surely, but we do have some news to talk about today. I mean, and we're gonna hopefully try and start making videos each and every day. That's what we're known for. That's what we've done. We haven't done a great job with it recently, but we are back on the grind now. So let's hop into this. This morning, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler said that the Bears won't automatically bench Fields for, quote, fun and posterity. This means that the Bears are going to hopefully let Fields compete with Andy Dalton for the quarterback 1 spot, or at least that is the assumption. Now, I'm someone who's thought since the day that the Bears drafted Fields that he was going to be the week 1 starter in 2021. And there's a little bit of back and forth between Bears fans on whether or not he should start off the season. But Jaylen, we're going to start right here. After this rumor came out this morning out of ESPN, are you surprised that Fields will have the chance to compete for the starting job right out of the gates? Oh, you're muted, my friend. No worries. We're a little bit rusty.
No, not at all. I think when we drafted him, once we actually looked at it and realized that he, potentially be our starting quarterback. Even if we didn't draft him, any rookie quarterback that we drafted, if it was going to be in the first round, I think they had a chance to come in and start right away, especially over Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton was a quarterback that if we didn't draft a quarterback in the first round, that we were going to be okay with starting. But since Fields, fell to 11, we were able, to actually trade up for him. I think, right now, even as a rookie quarterback, I think he's the best quarterback that can put this team in a position to win. We went 8-8 last year. We still have a very solid, roster. The only thing that has been wrong with the roster for the last couple of years was the quarterback position. Obviously, Trubisky and Foles played, well enough to a certain point to get us into the playoffs, but we had no chance when it came down to it. When it came down to the quarterback position. So I'm definitely not surprised that Fields is going to be able to come in and get an opportunity to start even with Nagy and Pace saying they're not going to rush him. They're going to take it as slow as possible.
Yeah, I got to agree with you completely. There's jobs on the line. If you want to put it simply, there's jobs on the line. The Bears have the 3rd toughest strength of schedule in 2021, and they need to win some football games. I think they brought Andy Dalton in as an insurance guy. I'm not sure why Nick Foles is still on the roster, but I'm pretty sure it's because nobody else wants to take on his contract, and cutting him, we'd have to pay him to leave. But the Bears have to win football games. That's how it is. And I think there's a difference between what we see with Fields than what we saw with Trubisky coming in, which is Fields had a ton of experience in college and shine brightest on the brightest stages. The Bears opened their season week 1 at SoFi Stadium against the Los Angeles Rams, and Justin Fields has played in a ton of big games throughout his college career, whereas Trubisky only started 13 college games and came in as more of a raw prospect. I think Justin Fields is ready for this stage, ready for this spotlight, ready for this moment. I've said that since the second the Bears drafted him, so it doesn't shock me that he's going to at least have the chance to compete for this starting job, and it also wouldn't shock me if he ended up as the week 1 starter because I really think he's ready for this moment, and I think he's such a dual threat quarterback, and I really believe that the Bears got it right this time. So, Jaylen, let's move on a little bit. Training camp obviously hasn't gotten going just yet, but we've seen OTA starting. But once this does get underway, do you foresee this being a legitimate quarterback competition, or do you think Dalton will get most of the quarterback one snaps in camp? Because we've seen Matt Nagy still continuously say that Dalton's their quarterback one. The last time he said it was about 2 weeks ago after the post-draft press conference, and also when rookie minicamp got underway. But do you think this is going to be a legitimate competition where Fields sees the starters as well, or do you think Dalton's going to get most of these snaps heading down the stretch?
When it comes to the beginning of camp, I definitely think Dalton's going to get the majority of the snaps. Nagy is not a type of player, or not a type of player, not a type of coach to say something and, even if it, doesn't play out that way, that, he's going to, give you the opportunity to, like he said, he said Trubisky's going to get every opportunity to start last year. And, obviously he won the starting job coming out of camp. So, he said many times before that, coming into training camp and most of the OTAs, Dalton is going to get the first team snaps. And I think that stands true. But, going into or continuing on until later on to the training camp and as preseason rolls around, I think that's when Fields starts to see reps with the ones and, being able to really show that he can be our starter. But so I'll say, Dalton will get most of the number one snaps going into camp.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think at least in the beginning, that's what we're going to see. But I like that you bring up the preseason because I think that's going to be big for Justin Fields if he wants to cement himself as the week one starter. He's going to have to show that he can do it against NFL coverages, against professionals, even if it's a mixture of first, second, and third stringers. I think what the Bears are looking for is for Fields to show that he can do this against an NFL defense so they don't rush him into this too early like they may have with Trubisky. You may say that the Bears are rushing Fields too early in if he's the week one starter, but he's got an entire training camp against one of the best defenses in the league, as well as a couple of preseason games to prove it. So I think it is going to start as Dalton being the lead guy as we get going here in the next couple of weeks. But as it progresses, I think Fields is going to see more and more action as we move forward. So it should be interesting to see how it progresses, but I do think that Justin Fields will get the snaps as we move down the stretch. So it should be interesting to see how this plays out. But I do think Justin Fields is ready. From what all the reporters have said thus far, he's impressed in training camp, at least in OTAs and in rookie minicamp. So I think what he's doing is impressive. All the reporters, Adam Hogue, Mark Patash, I think that's how his name's pronounced. Someone in the last podcast said that.
I was going to say, he's not from Chicago.
Patash, whatever. All are saying that there's no reason why Justin Fields shouldn't be able to compete for this job and possibly even shouldn't even be the week one starter. So I think as Fields gets more time to get used to the system and such, I think his dual threat and his ability to play will really stand out. And I think he honestly could be ready. So it should be interesting, but I do think he's going to have to ease into it at least a little bit in the beginning of starting camp, in the beginning of training camp. Jaylen, before we get into this one, I mean, we've talked about this a lot in the last couple of videos, and honestly, ever since the Bears drafted Fields. But now that we know that Justin Fields is at least going to have a shot to compete for this starting role, who's your early prediction as to who is the week one starter? Because you could obviously go with the safe bet, Dalton, and hopefully sit him for a few weeks. I mean, I think ideally as Bears fans, we'd have Dalton play this entire season and still have a good season and not start Fields until 2022. But I think we all realize that that's not realistic and we're not going to win games doing that. So who is your early prediction as to who is the week one starter?
I continue to say this. I think I said this after our recap video, after we drafted. I'm going with Fields. Like you said, it's hard. I think it's going to be extremely hard for Nagy as our head coach, and he wants the best opportunity for this team to win. And he starts the best quarterback. It's a little echo, so I don't know exactly because of my mic, but like I said, I'm going with Fields. I think, like you said, his athletic ability, his ability to stretch the ball down the field. He has, coming out. People said he has one of the best deep ball accuracies. Coming out that draft class. We have a lot of talent. That's something we didn't have at all. As an offense, was the ability to stretch the ball down the field. Foles was able to do it, but he had no time in the pocket to do it. And every time Trubisky went down the field, more than likely it wasn't going to be accurate. So Having a quarterback that can do the best of both worlds when it comes to the quarterback that we had last year with athletic ability when it comes to Mitchell, and then deep ball ability when it comes to Foles comparing to one. I think that screams that we should something that we should be excited about. Yes, we know he's gonna make mistakes, but that's what rookie quarterbacks do. But as long as this team puts us in the best opportunity to win games, with him at a quarterback, I think it's a win-win.
And I think Justin Fields' level of athleticism is comparably higher than Mitchell Trubisky's.
Oh, yeah, he runs a 4.4. Like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, you know what? I said it on Twitter this morning. I said ever since the second we drafted Fields, I've had a gut feeling that he's going to be the week one starter, and I've always been someone throughout my life that's gone with my gut. So I'm going to have to go ahead and agree with you. I do think Fields gets the week one start. I think he blows a lot of people, blows a lot of coaches, blows a lot of teammates out of the water in training camp, and is impressive. And I really think he's going to be ready for this moment. He's someone who shined on the biggest stage in the college football playoffs, in the Big Ten championship games. So I really think he's ready for this moment. I think it's just going to come down to, can he get the playbook down? Can he get the speed of play down? Can he get the lifestyle down that it is to be an NFL player? Because it's a lot different than in college football. But you know what? I think as time continues, he's going to continue to progress. I don't think he's as much of a training wheel quarterback that you could call Mitchell Trubisky. I think you can take the training wheels off Justin Fields here virtually very soon. And we saw Mitchell Trubisky struggle and need to be restricted for quite the amount of time, basically his entire career in Chicago, because he was inept in some categories. So I think Justin Fields is ready. I really do think he's going to bring it to Andy Dalton, and I really do think he's going to be the week one starter. But we shall see. Maybe we're being bold. Maybe we're the idiots, and we don't know what's going on. Matt Nagy always has a plan in place, so we'll see what he wants to do in terms of inserting Fields, but it sure seems like we're going to see him in 2021. Thank you guys so much for tuning into episode number 233 of the Bear Down podcast. Do us a favor before you go. We're going to be posting videos every day of the week, and your guys' support means the world to us. So if you are listening on YouTube, do us a favor, drop a like and subscribe. And if you're listening on either of the podcasting platforms, do us a favor and follow along, because we're going to be posting videos each and every day of the week. We're also getting our website back up and going, beardown.com. The link is down in the description. You can go see columns, articles, and blogs from people that work with us on all things off-season, so be sure to go check that out. If you want to find the podcast on Instagram and Twitter, you can find us on both platforms at Bear Down. And finally, you can find the links to all of our social media pages, myself as well as Jaylen, down in the description, our Instagram and Twitter pages, to see our thoughts on the entire National Football League and all of Chicago sports. Jalen Clinton, White Sox and Cubs both looking pretty good right now. Any last words before we close this one out?
I was actually watching it as really important. First off, I hope you guys have a good Memorial Day. Rest in peace to all the fallen soldiers of our country and that are still alive, living today. So first off, I want to say that. Hopefully, me, you, and Parth, and maybe even Zach can get to a White Sox game. I know Zach and Parth went without us, but hopefully we're able.
Did they go together?
No, I think Zach.
Oh, they both gone individual games. I was going to say, if they went together and we didn't get the invite, I'm pissed.
But yeah, so hopefully we can get to a game. Like I said, the White Sox are a very good team and definitely very exciting to watch. So, but that's about it. Like I said, happy to get back to work, especially since school is over. So, we'll have way more time to record than the last couple months. So.
A lot to do this summer. Chicago baseball on both ends, the north side and the south side, both killing it. We'll definitely be out at training camp this summer. I'm sure we're going to pounce on a ton of tickets once those become available. So there's going to be a lot coming from us this summer, a lot of involvement in Chicago sports. Be sure to check us out on Twitter. Those links are down in the description. It's a great platform to check us out and see our thoughts on all Chicago sports. So definitely be sure to check us out on Twitter. But Justin Fields looking to light it up this summer, and we're going to be following along, giving you videos each and every day on everything Bears training camp. So be sure to join us and continue to support us, because we're going to be bringing you Bears content every day of the week. Guys, it's been a pleasure to be your host once again. My name is Chris Malpe. Feels so good to be back consistently, not restrained by school and other things. This is what I love to do, and you guys show us so much support, and we're grateful. and we are passionate to bring you guys the best content here on the web when it pertains to the Chicago Bears each and every day. We're trying to do it like nobody else. So thank you guys so much for the support. And that's pretty much it for us, guys. We will see you guys back again tomorrow, probably with another episode of Uncut. That series will return, but that's pretty much it for us. And as always, do us a favor and stay safe and bear down. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.